Welcome back. 2024 Mid-Atlantic Major, third stop on the tour here, the NXL. Major League Paintball going down in Atlantic City. I'm Matty Marshall, alongside Rich Telford, paintball legend, coach of New York Extreme and a world champion, to help me call this next set. It's going to be Tampa Bay Damage taking on Notorious, Impact, and Infamous. And so, Rich, Notorious going to be out. They went 0-3. Tampa Bay Damage did take a loss, though, to Shock. So they've got to be careful here because Notorious has nothing to lose. And Notorious missing 3 of their starters. So, but they've been gritty. You know, they've been attacking. Yep. It's just again, if you're missing 3 starters, it's just really tough.
Tall task, right? Bringing in, even if that's Dynasty, and Dynasty's losing 3 of their starters and bringing in 3 new guys, that's a tough game with Tampa Bay Damage, right? So, be a big challenge here for Notorious, but no pressure, right?
Yeah, pressure's off.
And sometimes with young players, that's what holds them back, right? It's their heads.
So jumping into point number 1, see if Notorious can stay alive through the break, and they cannot. Dropping a body early, so it's, ooh, they shoot Rainey though, and they get a shot in on Jacob, so it's going to be a 3-on-3 situation.
Story of the event so far for Tampa Bay Damage is challenging. They're having a hard time surviving the break, Matt. They're losing, occasionally shooting a body, sometimes even shooting 2 bodies, but losing a body to almost every point. Now they lose another quick one. I think he got there on the break, but now eliminated. So 4-on-2 advantage for Notorious.
They kept 4 alive. Yeah, so 4-on-2. So this is a point you can't squander if you're Notorious. You cannot lose 4-on-2s if you want to beat top teams in the pro division. So, but now they got to figure out, okay, well, what's the count? I mean, do they have the count accurate? Is Notorious going to play this like it's a 4-on-2, or are they unaware of what the kill count is?
We know how hard it is to find bodies out there, so they're probably going to take a few minutes to kind of figure out where the bodies are, especially because it's the first point, right? Nobody wants to make a mistake and lose the first point. Everybody knows how hard Tampa Bay Damage is to dig out of spots. Keith Brown's in that snake, too, looking inside. He's got one of Edwards' brothers behind him, backing him up. So even though there's only 2-on-4, those guys are in good positions to support each other. And if they can isolate 2 of the Notorious players into 1-on-1 gunfights, they can get right back in this game. It's 2-on-2, and now you got 2 guys that are probably better players against 2 guys that aren't quite as strong.
Well, we got Logan Dyer in the snake matching up with Keith Brown. Keith Brown's at snake 1, Logan Dyer at snake 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, Logan Dyer is pointing his gun towards the Doritos as if there's someone over there alive, kind of indicating the fact to us that Notorious doesn't know that it's a 4-on-2, or if they do know it's a 4-on-2, they don't understand that both of the players in the 2 are on the snake side for damage. Notorious getting into a better position over there on the Dorito 3 now, on the blue side of the field. Keith Brown coming over the top, taking a little bit of look. Dyer, again, looking heads up, but into a spot that nobody's in.
Yeah, so they definitely don't know where everyone is here on Tampa Bay, and that could give them an opportunity to catch someone getting a little sloppy.
Yeah, and great read by the Notorious player on the D side that, hey, I've got no one in front of me, no one's been shooting at me, I can't hear anybody talking over here, damage down to 1 player left alive, just Keith Brown gets caught over the top.
Damage struggling here today, Rich. They haven't scored a point on Saturday so far.
I tell you, Matty, even the best teams in the world have a hard time playing when they're down on bodies and contained in the pocket on the break. I mean, sometimes it's insurmountable. Notorious has got to feel good about that. They lost 1 on the break, never made a mistake after that. And that's what it comes down to at the highest level of paintball. It's not necessarily making the big, fancy moves. It's not making mistakes. It's going out and doing your job, absorbing pressure and applying pressure, playing team paintball.
Yeah, and the teams that have been struggling out here are the teams that, look, everyone's going to lose bodies on the break, but if it's becoming a theme, then that's when it's going to go rough for you. So see if Tampa Bay can tighten it up. But yeah, they just lost that early body here for Notorious. Other than that, everyone stayed alive. You can see the 4-pack of bodies walking off all together here on your screen. Now we're jumping in the pits here with the Notorious.
I have to see who it was. I think it was raining.
20 seconds.
But we can, we're just gonna figure out the situation. Figure it out. Logan, good job.
10 seconds.
Edmonton Impact and Infamous. Impact's been doing really well out here. They are undefeated through 3. Infamous did drop a game yesterday to Dynasty by 2. Jumping into point number 1. Infamous on the blue side, Impact on the red side. First to drop a body is going to be Infamous. And they're going to actually be losing 2 off the break, so just down to 3. They do shoot, I think Laval was the one that just snuck off.
43 here. Advantage, Impact. Impact with Dorito 1, stand-up can on the D side. The Snake Temple, I think that's that. And the all-important Hertz 50 Snake Bunker. Yeah, Impact playing really, really well here this weekend. Always a strong team. Had a rough event last event, kind of went back, retooled, relit the fires, and now they're trying to come out and prove once again that they're the best team in the world.
Yeah, again, it had been, I think, 14 years as Impact making it to every Sunday, almost a decade and a half, but finally missed one at the last event. So definitely looked like a better team here as they want to get back into that winner's circle, contend for that series title. Zach Yakimek going to glide out to the back corner bunker here on the Snake side. JC's in a real good position. He's at that 50 brick. Doesn't have to worry about Jonah Jamrose, who is, now see, we're looking at Barrett, number 50 for Infamous, and there's Jonah Jamrose, number 3. He's up at that wedge, looking towards the D side, as there's a body in D2 and D1 for Edmonton Impact.
I think Joe just got caught. Nope, he's alive. Switch Jonah. Now Jonah's looking. Oh, and on the switch, JC goes, gets one.
Ooh, but Barrett catches him, but that was still a nice little run. We almost got 2.
Yep.
And then they swarm on Barrett there.
2 Impact
With
players
some
left
pressure.
alive, or 3. Yep, 3 players left alive for Impact. Good point there. First point of the match for Impact. Dropping a body, but going back up. Infamous again, got to survive that breakout, right? That's tough losing 2 for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy field as far, no back center, and it's been lethal off the break, but it's not like it's starting 3-3 every single point, right? And
No.
as we kind of have moved on in the tournament, the teams that are looking better out here, Impact looks pretty good. Legion, Red Legion looked good yesterday. Aftershock, they're figuring out where they're either running through the lanes really well or they're just figuring out where the higher survivability moments are. They're still losing bodies on the break. They're just not losing as many.
Yeah.
That's going to be key, man. Whoever wins this tournament is going to need to get a little lucky in that situation too.
Yeah, especially because there's no big payoffs, right? Like if you risk that body outside, it's not like there's one spot you can get to on this field. Like, hey, Matty, you get to that key spot, Matt, you're going to kill 4 dudes. Do whatever you got to do to get there. It's just not that spot out here.
Yeah, you're right. There are definitely some spots that are better than others, but it's not like you have to do this very one specific thing on every single point. I mean, the D side it's been one from the D side. It's been one from the middle, or more closed from the middle.
Notorious
And this
dropping
Snake
their
side is
first
definitely
body.
important. Yeah, so Notorious dropped in Logan Dyer from this D. No, that's not Logan. Is that Logan? Well, yeah, one body dropping here from the Snake side.
Tampa Bay damage over here in the Snake. Trying to figure out where the bodies are. Notorious drops another body.
Keith Brown feeling no pressure.
Oh.
Minor penalty going to be assessed here on Notorious.
Only 2 Notorious players left alive. Dorito 1 and the Can of Death. Can of Death gets shot, of course, in the hopper. Nobody's seen that yet. As soon as the referee sees that, he's probably going to get a penalty because he's been playing with the hopper hit for a while now.
Yeah.
And there goes the flag.
Well, that's not how you maintain lead right there, Rich.
That is not, Matt. Yeah, especially in a 2-on-5 situation, you got to be a little bit more cognitive of hanging that hopper out there, because if you get that click, last thing you want to do is get another penalty. Refs have long memories.
Yeah, so on paper, because of how good Damage has been in their careers and recently, and Notorious missing 3 starters, they should be beating up on Notorious and running the score up, which would make them 3-1.
But you know exactly what Joey said. Joey's like, if you lose a point to these guys, I will be so disappointed in you guys. So disappointed.
It's just the truth, right? I mean, Notorious is a new team.
The way of the world, man.
Yeah, they don't have, again, 3 starters. We've been talking all weekend, but you have to when you're losing that many starters. No Carter, no Archie Barnes Jr., no Ty Bateman. And though they've, definitely been scrapping it out in some of these points and playing very aggressive, yeah, on paper, Damage with 3 wins in the past 2 years and 2 second places, yeah, they should be beating Notorious by a lot.
I mean, and even if that's not the case, that's going to be a message from Joey, right?
Look,
As a coach, that's the message,
now,
right?
yes, but realistically, they just need to win the game because they win the game because they were undefeated yesterday. They'll
They
be
cruise
3-1
on it.
and they'll be okay.
Yep. Because they're here to win a tournament, not a game, right?
Yeah, you just also don't want to go 3-1 and have to play in the wild card round, which does happen occasionally.
Impact dropping 1. They do dig out to the Dorito 1 and the Snake corner, Matty. 4-on-5 advantage for Infamous. I can't say if that's Brussel back in the Snake corner or not. Yeah, Brussel back in the Snake corner for Infamous.
Ooh, Jonah dodges
Oh,
one.
yeah, he did.
There comes Nate Schrader's going to help out Brusselback get to that Aztec. So a 5-on-3 situation in favor of Infamous. They're trying to get on the board here and tie this one up.
Reposition there on the drill side of the field for Infamous. One body advantage here. Down by 1. Lots of time left in the match. I like that field forward from Brusselback, going from the snake corner to snake 1 and then to snake 2. He's got Jonah right in next to him and Nate right behind him. Great positioning here from from Infamous. Really showing that they know how to play this field, right, Matt? These are the positions you want to be in. You want to be in the snake 1. You want to be in the wing. You want to be in Dorito 2. Ideally, Dorito 1. And then either that little temple where Nate is or the snake corner. Those 5 positions can control the whole field, communicate well with each other, and work as a team. Good comms from both teams. Great fill out to the corner there. So now Infamous is in, at least in my opinion, the 5 best positions to play team paintball in this field. Really good read and reacts from all of these positions. Everyone kind of worked together.
Yeah, and Rich relatively safe too.
100%,
yeah,
right?
They're at snake 2, relatively safe. That wedge is safe. D1, D2, and then Nate Schrader in the Aztec. So you can see there the line Infamous on the red side, Impact just 3. But they have a good crossfield spread. I mean, if you're going to be in a 3-on-5, these are some really good positions to be in a 3-on-5.
100%.
They're not stuck on one side. They're not stuck in the pocket in the middle.
And the only thing that's really slowing us down is Infamous finding where the points are, where the bodies are, where their zones are, and kind of getting that read on who's got the ball and who can make that next offensive movement. Because they're in great defensive positions, but now at this point in the point, they need to redevelop into better offensive positions so that they can press their 5-on-3 advantage.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing to state there in that, Rich, because Impact has the lead. Now, if Infamous had a 5-on-3 with a 1-point lead, it would be
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
the strategy's much different. But because they're down, yeah, cool. You have 2 extra bodies. You still should win this point. But it does give Impact a little bit of breathing room because they don't need to go for it.
Yeah.
They're the ones with the lead.
Yeah, Infamous isn't really applying any pressure to Impact here. They're playing like they're up 4 or 5 points and Impact has to push on them, right? And I'm sure that the game plan was to get to these spots and play a long, slow, smart point, and that's a really good game plan.
Well,
but from these positions, in a 5-on-3, now it's the point, the part of the point where you've got to redevelop, right? Like, hey, these spots aren't working. We're not getting the kills. They're not giving us any gunfights. They're not engaging with us. We've got to move to a spot where we can apply more pressure.
Well, Jarula has crawled up into Snake 2 to match Brusselback, who also moved into Snake 2. He's right by Jonah. And Jarula had an amazing point earlier.
Sneaky.
In that match against the Ironman.
Jarula gets control down tape. Now, if Brusselback looks back at him, he'll be at a disadvantage.
Good communication here from Infamous.
Yeah, great communication coming through the mic on the field. Brusselback over the top, trying to get that cross kill on that position number 1 on the Dorito. Right there is who's trying to get the elimination. If that's the island right now for Impact, which means that's the one player that can't die for Impact, if that player dies, the whole Dorito side of the field will fall, and all the Infamous players will go forward, wrapping around and putting pressure on the 2 Impact players left alive on the snake side.
Yeah, and because they have the field spread here, Impact has the field. We're looking at Dalton over there on the D side. If somebody, if Dalton dies, it's going to be tough for Urena and Jarula. Yeah, they have some good angles on those D side attackers, but with no one in front of you, you don't have to worry about that sideline gunfight. So Dalton's just tucked in as tight as he possibly can. And then Jarula and Urena exploring a little bit. Oh, what an amazing snapshot by Tim Brusselback, who gets to just talking about this. So now that's going to give Brusselback a lot of breathing room. Does not have to worry about Jarula anymore because he won that gunfight, and man, that's huge. Now it's a 2-on-5. Going to be much easier for Infamous to try to tie this game up with 8:38 to go. They're going to peel out Dalton Vanderbilt as well, so that leaves just Mike Urena. Looking in this might be a perfect point here for Infamous. Yeah, didn't lose a body.
Yeah, really, really good control there, Matty. Got to the key positions, allowed the point to kind of develop, no mistakes. And if you're going to be a team like Impact, Dynasty, those top tier 4 teams, you can't make mistakes.
Yeah, so he confirmed 3 pack of kills for Tim Brusselback.
Yeah.
Thing about Infamous, man, they got a lot of offense on that team.
Sure.
You're talking about Jonah Jamrose, Brusselback, Sam Silberg, Nate Schrader. They got a lot. Ryan Hall's had an amazing tournament. Callie Rudolph. even as a back player, they just have a lot of wheels, a lot of experience, and a lot of lethal attackers on that squad, which I think eventually they're gonna make a run at one of these tournaments relatively soon. They had a disastrous second event, worst event they've had in years. So still a little inconsistent here, but really believe in this roster that Travis Szymanski's put together.
Yeah.
Probably the best roster they've had since they had Greg Sewers on the team
For sure.
3 years ago.
Great roster. Great group of guys, too.
Hey, we were calling 300. When I came out, I saw he was in the 2.
This game's a little closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah? Hey, I think, hey,
See what Notorious can do. If they can shoot 2 Tampa Bay guys on the break, probably going to win this point.
hey, Z.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of kills you're getting off the break are absolutely deciding a lot of these points.
Tampa Bay damage with 4 in the pocket, risking 1 outside, get 5 alive, but they do shoot 1. Oh, they lose Rainey out of back center. Oh, no.
Jason.
Jason out of back center.
Oh, they lose Keith, too. So just 3
on 3?
bodies alive right now here for Tampa Bay damage. They're going to crawl Keith Brown. Or, sorry, not Keith Brown. They get a body here to the wedge.
Man, Tampa Bay damage having a hard time surviving the beginning of these points, Maddie.
Yeah, so it's Brian Smith and Chad Bougier here on the snake side. Oh, wraps around and gets the kill. Oh, and another kill. So Brian Smith's going off right here with Chad Bougier right behind him. Now they're up and over the top of their spots trying to figure out where these last couple bodies are here for Austin Notorious on that D side.
Man, big point there for Smith. Stepping up, swinging from the center field back to the snake side because he read where the bodies were. Knows that they'd lost a couple, gets a couple key kills. Is it 2-on-1 now?
There's there's 3 bodies out there for damage.
Okay.
3 on 1. 3 on 1. Good crossfield spread for damage.
Yeah, Notorious might want to concede this as they eliminate their last player. Tampa Bay damage winning this point. Going to be 2-1 with
A lot of time left
a
still.
lot of time left.
Yeah, 9:44. But what an amazing clocked-in performance there from Agent Smith. Brian Smith, who's, they're sitting in, they lose 2 immediately, so they lose their outside attacker with Keith. They lose the big gun in the backfield out of that back center with Jason Edwards taking the walk. And then Smith just rolled around, handled business, and
This is the best thing that could happen to Tampa Bay damage. If they cruise through this match and don't make any adjustments, right? Not a big improvement tomorrow, but the fact that they're struggling and losing 2 bodies early every point against a lower ranked team is going to give them something to work on tonight, right?
yeah, for sure. And damage has been in a lot of battles. They had 2 1-point wins yesterday. Got beat up by Shock. They got shut out 4-0, and then now up by 1 over Notorious. But as long as they get this win, again, they'll be 3-1, and they'll have no problems making it to Sunday, having learned a lot about this field. On the breakout now, Edmonton Impact going to be losing 1 body at least, and it looks like they're going to be losing 2. So great off-the-break shots here again for Infamous. No one for Infamous coming off, so it's a 5-on-3 situation in favor of Infamous.
Yeah, Infamous looking really good here. Good communication from, I believe that's Joe Barrett home. Oh, nice move from JC. He's going to get 1. Might get 2. Might get that cross trio shot.
So JC going into 5 bodies. That's a mistake. That's a mistake from Infamous. They did not watch the edge of that 50 brick here in the V, in the snake, and JC made him pay, and he's alive onto Infamous's side. They're going to have to figure out how to get this guy out the field.
And there's 4 or 5 spots that can do that job, Matty. Like, it's not just one guy had that cut. There was Nate gets caught trying to make a move out of back center, Matt.
Oh, man, JC.
Impact coming back down. It started down on this point. Now JC's in a position to win this game.
Well, did Zach shoot Nate Schrader, or was it JC?
I think it was Zach. Yeah,
So Zach is inside. He's a little off camera, but he's at that wedge, and he's just watching, pump and paint down in that line, keeping Brussel back tucked into that Aztec, and letting JC go to work, and he caught Nate Schrader.
Yeah, and that temple for the Infamous, that's who Impact has to get that elimination. If he can get that elimination, JC can get that elimination by going forward and wrapping that snake 1, it's going to be hard to keep Impact from pushing down the snake side. Dorito 1 and 2 are still hot for Infamous, and those guys are looking inside. But JC's sneaking right past him. He's getting real close. And then Zach's backing him up, just humbling that bunker.
JC is having a point right now. It was 3 on 5, and JC is just cutting right through these lanes.
Yeah. And that's what great players do, right? In big games, down on bodies, they make big moves. Oh, there it is. Infamous down to just 2 bodies left alive. Dorito, only 1 body left alive for Infamous now.
Wow, that's a big opportunity lost for Infamous with that big high body situation.
They're going to want that one back.
Yeah, courtesy of Justin Cornell. But great job by Nick Laval and Zach Yakimek to have those lanes controlled, let JC go to work, doesn't have to worry about getting bunkered. Zach picked up a kill as well, too. And that's, a head scratcher here for Travis Szymanski and the boys on Infamous. Yeah, as good as Impact is playing and as many bodies as they're shooting on the break, and you get an opportunity where you don't lose anybody, you shoot 2, and you cannot capitalize and finish that off. And it was just poor zone control.
100%.
Can't believe that.
Lack of discipline.
It's like just because you shoot 3, just because it's 3 on 5 doesn't mean somebody's going to hide and wait for you to come get them. JC played proactive in a low body situation, and that's high level, like Paintball 504 instead of Paintball 101.
And that, by the way, that's a much harder class to get into. Freshmen, sophomores are not going to get in that class.
Well, JC does have essentially a PhD in paintball after all the years and work he's done for Impact over the years.
For sure. Notorious Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay with 5 alive. First 5 alive breakout for Tampa Bay. That's a big improvement for them.
5 on 5 situation actually here is.
No way.
Oh, yeah, 5 on 5 situation.
Wow. We got a 5 on 5, Maddie. Notorious moving into the snake wing. Tampa Bay damage back center. Jacob Edwards getting checked. Looks like he's fine. Oh, damage losing their first attacker on the snake side, Matt. Dorito 1 going to Dorito 2, and Notorious dropping a body, so 44.
Yeah,
Notorious dropping another one, 34. Notorious with 3, Tampa Bay damage with 4. Keith Brown now in the snake, looking inside.
Chad Bougier gonna hit the gas pedal, get out into D1. Then he's actually gonna come back to the can. Oh, and they shoot another body for Notorious out of D2.
Yeah,
so
it likes to be unpredictable.
Losing some gunfights out here, Notorious.
You hear Weasel 2 called, old strange call from back in the day. That means they killed 2 bad guys. It's now Weasel 3, Weasel 4. Only 1 player left alive for Notorious. He's been eliminated. So Tampa Bay damage is going to easily win this point with lots of time left on the clock. It's going to be 3-1 Tampa Bay damage.
Yeah.
A little bit of a rough start, but after that, it looks like Tampa Bay damage is figuring it out.
They're starting to look a little bit more like themselves.
Yeah.
Past couple points.
Yeah, and again, guys have relied and teams have started to rely on these layouts, right? Knowing all these spots on the break, right? So they've had 70, 80 points to get all the data in that they need. They've made all these calculations. They're probably only playing their 20th or 30th point on this field, so they've only got half as much information as they usually have before they start a tournament.
But Damage historically been good at blind layouts. The last time we had one of these was in Texas with remember that unconventional staggered one, and it was a blind layout, and Damage won that, and they won it running 2 full lines.
100%, and if there was a strong back center that you didn't have to do as much reading and reacting on the break, and you could keep 5 guys alive, they would definitely read and react and figure this out. But because there's no back center and they've got to play that scramble ball, it's a little bit more risky, I think. Most field layouts like this, you'd have a back center and you'd have 2 Tampa Bay damage guys there every time. So there'd be 3 super safe spots for the other guys to go to.
Well, it's 2-1 in favor of Impact, courtesy of Justin Cornell. So they're going to give Cornell a rest and let Mike Urena take over the attack here on the snake side.
Infamous dropping the first body from the can of death.
Only 5:31 left in this one here, Rich.
Yep.
Longer points.
4 on 5 advantage for Impact as Mike Urena goes forward into the snake. Oh.
Yeah, and it's Ryan Hall taking the walk. He's had a good tournament, so it's a good kill for Edmonton Impact as they're pushing the issue on the D side. Infamous getting into position on the snake side with Tim Brussel back. Got Jonah Jamrose right beside him. Here comes Joe Barrett. He's going to try to get out to the snake side as well, too. Makes it clean to the Aztec.
Yeah. Impact losing their first attacker. Dorito side, 4 on 4, Maddie. Impact player now in Dorito 1, living on an island. Cannot be shot out over there. Oh, Jonah gets shot. A little bit sloppy gunfighting inside. Not sure who caught him. Might have been Joe Barrett from that. Or can't see who's in the temple.
Yeah, a couple of tough deaths there.
Impact.
Because Impact had a 5 on 4, and then they lose that first attacker. I think that might have been Tyler. And then Jonah gets shot out of his spot. Did he get shot out of his spot or moving?
It looked like he got shot out of his spot. Looked like he was just switching from a right hand to left hand when he got caught.
So Urena and Jarula in here for Edmonton Impact. They also have Zupa out wide, so a 3 stack of bodies looking at 2 for Infamous. And then Infamous and Impact both have a body on an island. That means you're the only player on one side of the field. Need to stay alive in that situation because if either Infamous or Impact wins this gunfight, Sam Silberg
Zupa going from snake 1 to snake 2, and that's a huge move, Maddie, because now he can really shut down the center of the field. He's got shots on the D side. He's got a lot of shots on that cathedral. Guys like to jump over and go in the middle through the middle to try to get that 50 snake out. And he's in a great spot to stop that. Taking a little second to squeegee his barrel, get some paint out of his gun.
Yeah, this is a close game, important game here for Infamous. And Impact, even if they drop this game, should be okay because they had a huge win on against the Ironman Mercy Rule win there. They're undefeated. They have 3 wins. So even if Infamous can find a way to win this one in the next 333, we'll still see Impact on Sunday. Oh, Sam Silber gets shot trying to move up the field on the D side.
Yeah, that was the gap was not there, right? Halfway through there, he was just getting zipped up. So it's not like he barely made it. Oh, and now onto Infamous' side of the field is Impact.
Yeah, Dalton Vanderbilt pushing up, trying to get the angle on Tim. Brusselback. Not able to stay alive in there. Nothing that Tim could really do from that position because of those increased angles. And then Joe Barrow's going to get tapped out of that Aztec, and Darula is going to run in to extend the lead. 3-1 going to be the score here.
Impact looks very sharp.
Infamous got to keep this score close. If they lose this game, because they're 2-1 right now with a decent spread, so they cannot let Impact start running up the score. Because yesterday Infamous was 1-1 with a +1, and then they put up.
20 seconds.
So now they're sitting at 2-1 with a +4. Yeah, so they just really need to make sure that this game doesn't get out of hand. Tampa Bay damage. Tampa Bay damage on the red side and Notorious on the blue side now. These teams switch sides, and Tampa Bay going pocketing up the middle. Stay alive. Here comes Keith Brown running and gunning all the way into Snake 1. They do shoot a body from the can for Notorious, so it's a 5-on-4 situation in favor of damage. But decent field position here for Notorious as they have a body at the brick.
Yep, move inside out from Drill 1 to Drill 2. Gets in there clean for Notorious. Great little transition there. Great overhead there. 4-on-5 advantage here for Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay is a tough team when they're up on a couple points. Get all their guys to their key spots. Those guys communicate. They're great gunfighters. They really absorb pressure well. Really hard to dig them out. Wow, Notorious got across the gap, but then gets caught with his gun a little bit loose.
Yeah, so Notorious extending across into that zone.
Yep.
Trying to play offense down
Yep.
too, but got controlled. And yeah, so now it's a 5-on-3 situation here in favor of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and Tampa Bay's basically just trying to play the perfect point here, right? They're just trying not to make any mistakes. Notorious knows they need to attack. Tampa Bay damage knows they need to get as much time on this field as they can so they can get a look at all the angles, all the variables, figure out what they can get away with, what they can't get away with, so they know how to play it tomorrow. A couple little repositions over there from Markey, I think. Like the fact that he's still attacking even though they're down by 2 points.
Kind of
and
have
two
to.
bodies here. Yeah, they have to, right?
And also nothing to lose. You know, there's no pressure on
Yeah.
Notorious. They've lost 3 games. They're not going to make it to Sunday. I mean, sure, you don't want to take last, but
And
in order to not take last, you need to win this game.
yeah, and part of the reason we play paintball is to have fun, right? So when you're in a position where, you know, the tournament's kind of over for you anyway, but you're still playing paintball, you're playing to have a good time, right? So try to make some moves, try to shoot some guys, try to have a big game, and kind of get your head right going forward for that next practice, right? Don't just be out there moping around.
So Magic's in the snake right now for Notorious. Smith at the 50V.
Is Magic his nickname or his real name?
Matt Check.
Matt Check. Okay, sorry. Thank
Not
you.
Magic. Matt
Yeah,
Check.
I thought you were saying Magic. Thank you.
Polish.
Polish.
I mean, that'd be a sweet nickname.
I was like, what did he get that nickname for? I mean, is he really, really good? What's going on? But you're saying no.
I mean, can we give him the nickname Magic? I mean, he's going to have to pull off some crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
if he shoots a bunch of dudes, I'll call him Magic. Oh.
Ooh, they get the kill in on Smith, though. Dude, traded a body. It's Marky Franz Jr. going to be taking the walk. So just two. It's a 2-on-4 situation, which still big advantage for Tampa Bay damage.
Yeah, and great positions for Notorious, you know, because they got 2 guys out the tapes. But as soon as Tampa Bay damage decides to put the foot on the gas, then this point will probably be over.
Well, we just got to look at Jacob Edwards over there in D2. He's starting to run out of paintballs. He's feeling his pack. I think he's got maybe one pod left as we're right around the 5-minute mark.
Here we start to go, starting to develop down this snake side of the field. Gets that cross kill, or he thinks he gets cross kill. Doesn't get him. Line pressure though, Keith Brown now going highway, coming up, putting more pressure across. They can all sense the fact that they're ready to start making some moves up the field. They're putting pressure on that D side. Jason repositions to snake 1. Oh wow, Notorious player getting shot on that D side, trying to make a move. 4-on-1, Keith Brown's got to release and look to get Matt check and trades with him. I'm just going to call him Magic. Good job, Magic. Good point out there, baby.
Well, he was the last player left alive.
Yeah. Sometimes that means something.
Yeah, so damage. Going to put this fourth point on the board. No concession from Notorious yet. And a slow walk in here for damage to burn a little bit of clock off. As they'll be going, well, if they can keep going this way, 3-1. Not too shabby. Sunday appearance. Yeah, so they're actually just going to hang out by the buzzer and wait for Notorious to concede. So we might.
Those salty veterans aren't looking to play any extra spins.
Well, I mean, if I'm Notorious, just concede and go play another point. You know, I mean, why not? You guys are out anyway. You're here, like you said, having fun is part of this. It's fun to play paintball. It's challenging to play the best teams in the world, but
That's the game.
You're here. Yeah, so it looks like they're just gonna.
All right, nice shot.
Yeah, with the relegation game the way it is, that any teams in the bottom of the bracket have to start thinking about margin in these last games.
Yeah,
So you'll see the guys in the last 5 positions doing things like letting the time run out just to try to save a place or two.
Well, you guys. So right now, Notorious is sitting at 16th with an 11th, which is helping their overall standings. But then 18th at the last event. They went 1-3 at the last event. You guys are 20th right now, but you did win a game, so you're not going to be 20th at this one because it looks like Notorious is going to go 0-4. So that's going to make it here. Diesel and Uprising and ML Kings are also kind of down there as well too. ML Kings did win a game. Diesel still 2 more to go today, and they were 1-1 yesterday. And then now Tile finally thrown in. And then Uprising, still 2 more to go, but they lost 2 heartbreakers. So as far as who's going to be down at that 19th, 20th, and with 2 events to go, staring down relegation down to the semi-pro division, tough to tell right now.
Yep. Midway through the season, though. The mold is starting to be made. Impact coming out, feeling very confident. Infamous coming out. Infamous sure wants that point back where they're up 3-on-5 and lost that point.
Yeah, it'd be a
whole different match.
Yeah, different story here. And who knows how that would have been with the momentum shift.
Exactly. Those are the points that you can't give up in these big games.
So, about to jump into this next one on our split screen breakout. Edmonton Impact and Infamous. Impact on the red side, Infamous on the blue side. And it looks like a pretty big bite all the way inside and out for Silberg into D3. They do shoot a body here, so it's a 5-on-4 situation in favor of Infamous. As JC, though, is on Infamous' side pretty quick, but he gets eaten up and no bodies have come off. Actually, no, Ryan Hall. So Ryan Hall coming off. It's a 4-on-3 now.
I think
here.
it's 3-on-3, Matty.
Did another body come off? Oh, yeah, okay, Silberg. Yeah, so Sam Silberg taking the walk with Ryan Hall. No one on the D side at all. So Joe Barrett's going to push on over that way for Infamous. He gets to the can clean.
1 to 2 for Impact.
Patient and Jamrose in Snake 2 and the
good
in the
fills
B.
Good fills for Joe B, right? Seeing that there's no bodies over there, filling all the way to that Dorito corner was a great fill and great read from Joe Barrett.
Yeah, stopping the bleeding over there.
3-on-3 here. Big point. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left. Infamous down by 2. They have to mount some offense here. Impact, one of the hardest teams in the league to push against, especially when they have position. Snake corner, very strong. Snake 1, very strong. That center wing, very strong. And then that D3, really good positions here. If the 3 Impact players can work together, it'll be very hard for Infamous to push through this line, especially in less than 2 minutes.
Joe Barrett's going to improve his position, get into D2, so now we can gunfight down that sideline.
Yeah, and Joe Barrett has the ball. Even though he's on the island, he's got the ball because it's so easy to shut down this snake side 50, right? 2 guns on that. There's no way that you can get around that corner, so it forces you to go through the middle. and the middle gets picked up by the Snake 2 or the Dorito 2.
Yeah, so Infamous has a minute and 24 seconds left to try to make something happen to avoid going 2-2.
Now Impact's even in better position, Matt, with that Snake 2, because now they can't run the inside wedge. That almost neutralizes Infamous here. It's not impossible, but it's going to be very hard for Infamous to break this cross in less than less than a minute with down by 2 points. This is going to be tough.
Yeah, I think Infamous is still going to be okay, though, even if they drop this
Yeah,
game.
they got a decent marge.
And they need to, again. Oh, they do get the shot in on Zach Yakimek, though, so that's going to open things up for Patient. Patient's going to run through, and he gets smoked by Nick Laval.
One ball Laval.
Nick Laval
2-on-2
with a real nice snapshot on the attacking Patient. And then here comes the launch with Joe Barrett's going to commit. So it's a 2-on-2 situation. Barrett commits to the wedge. See if Jamrose tries to roll the dice, make something happen here. Does have to worry about
30 seconds.
I think that's Brandon. He's tucked in right over there. But Brandon Cornell, I believe,
so
in
too.
D3 is just totally zoned up, waiting for Jonah Jamrose to make something happen here as time is just getting down to it. 20 seconds left to go.
Yeah, I don't know if he gets this cross shot on Jonah. 2-on-1 advantage for Impact.
Brandon waited on that one for a long time.
He
earned that one.
I was just going to say, I think those guys should be heads up, and Brandon makes the key shot.
So Joe Barrett runs down Cornell. We're going to have a minor penalty, though, and I think that minor is going to be on – actually, I don't know who it's on. Which way are they pointing?
Infamous. They were pointing towards Infamous.
Well, Laval was able to get in and hit that buzzer with 2 seconds left. So that's going to seal the deal here. It's going to mess with Infamous' spread a little bit. As long as that penalty wasn't on Impact, which would pull out Laval, which would make it a no point, and we'd have probably 5 seconds left.
Here we go, Nick. Way to play that. Way to calm B down. Great job.
30 seconds.
Here we go, B. Here we go.
19 seconds.
So Impact, one of the favorites here again. 4-0 undefeated through the prelims. Still don't know exactly what happened with that penalty, but it did look like they were gesturing towards Infamous' side. So most likely that score going to be 4-1 in favor of Edmonton Impact. I think Infamous is still going to be okay. Probably going to be seeing them on Sunday with the 2-2. They just had a couple decent wins to keep that margin in the positive area. 2:42 to go in this one, though. Tampa Bay Damage up by 3.
Tampa Bay Damage, 5 alive, and that's scary for teams. If you can shoot Tampa Bay Damage on the break, shoot 2 or 3 of them on the break, you got a decent chance. You let 5 of them get to their spots alive, they're one of the hardest teams in the league to beat. Tampa Bay Damage, 5-on-3 advantage here already in this point.
Great zone control from Tampa Bay. Magic shot trying to get into the wedge in the V, and then they also shot body out of D3.
Yeah, his father was a magician. That's why they call him Magic.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Great move up from Dorito 1 to Dorito 2 for Notorious, looking inside. Snake corner wrapping and putting pressure up the center of the field for Tampa Bay Damage. Oh, big bite over here on the Snake side from Damage.
Yeah, it's Agent Smith. He goes in untouched. They still have no IDs there. The Snake 1 player had no IDs there. So a little 2-pack, beautiful 2-pack from Brian Smith.
Agent Smith gets 2, which is honestly, it's a little bit less than I would expect from him. I kind of expect him to get all 3.
Yeah, he blows open this Snake side.
Big move, yeah. Great move over here by Smith. And now 4-on-1, Tampa Bay Damage dinks out the last Notorious player. Rainey head, eyes in the sky, try to figure out, making sure there's no more bodies left out there. No big rush to get down the field. Yeah, Notorious with 4 bodies left, Matty. Yeah, they're playing really, really well. Just Agent Smith, I think, went through.
Yeah, so Damage just posted up here with lots of bodies left alive. This will send him to 3-1. Definitely going to be playing on Sunday. So Damage has had some scrappy wins today.
Yeah, and that's good for them, right?
Yeah, and they got beat up by Shock. Shock's playing really well. I can't wait to see this next set with Heat and Shock, Dynasty and Ironman.
Out of all the rebuilds, because this was a big rebuild season, so far Shock is the most successful rebuild, right?
Yeah, so with Ironman, so in this next set, you have the Ironman, who they're 0-3. So they're out.
Yep.
And they would love to beat Dynasty, but they're not feeling any pressure right now because they're not going to make it on a Sunday. Right. Dynasty 2-1, they do not want to go 2-2 to have to count their spread. but they did put up a lot of points on you guys, so that really helped out Dynasty's spread. So even if they go 2-2, they're probably going to be okay. But I really want to see what happens with Heat and Aftershock, because Heat did drop a game yesterday to Tampa Bay by 1. They looked amazing against the ML Kings. They shut them out 6-0. That was an absolute beatdown. But then Shock just looks phenomenal. I mean, they didn't mercy rule damage, but they shut out damage 4-0. So going to be a very interesting set. And it looks like we have the refs coming off yet. I was looking at the numbers real quick. Did they let it burn down enough so they're going to have another point, or are they going to go straight to the break?
I'm sorry. I was listening to you talk.
Okay. Well, we typically know the set is over when the refs start coming off the field, and it looks like some of them are and some of them aren't.
I'm sorry. Nobody knows what's going on here, guys. I'll get
Now it looks like we're going to have
damage
another
coming
one.
back on the field.
Yeah, so this next set should be very interesting.
Yo, I'm
Houston
so
Heat
excited.
and Shock,
Yeah.
Dynasty and Iron Man. Going to have Mike Bianca, coach of the Hurricanes, coming up.
Oh, I love when Mike comes up. Nice. The Zen Master. I'd love to have Ryan, like if I was a billionaire, Ryan Gray and Mike coaching, because you'd have like the hot, fiery Ryan Gray and then the Zen Master just kind of, working together, balancing each other out. Better hope I don't hit the lottery, guys.
They would be a very interesting duo as a coaching set. I mean, they do great by themselves, but so we put the two brains together. That would be cool to see.
Very cool.
So just about to jump into what should be the last point.
Tampa Bay damage going conservative. 4 in the pocket, 1 outside. They do get a kill on Matchik on the D side, so 5-on-3 advantage now for Tampa Bay damage.
Yeah, just
5-on-2.
Just 25 seconds left to go in this one. A couple bodies have gotten peeled off for Notorious.
5-on-1. 4-on-1.
See if damage can put up the 6 point. Probably not, but maybe. Keith Brown's hunting for it. So is Chad Bougere. Here comes Keith Brown. He's just going to launch. And Keith Brown's going to run through with Chad, and they are going to go in. Man, damage is running up that score.
Yeah, I can't believe you doubted Keith Brown there.
I didn't really doubt it, especially when he started to just run and gun up the field. But
I heard someone yell 13
I
seconds.
I don't know how bad they feel like they need that extra point.
Not bad at all.
I mean, again, considering they go 3-1, but the situation, you don't want to go 3-1 and have to play in the wild card round,
Yep.
which does happen occasionally, depending on how the rest of the brackets go. Because again, we have 4 brackets, 5 teams in each. You get the 2 top teams from each bracket move on, and then you get 2 wild cards. But 4 teams will be in that wild card round, and if you play in the wild card round, you have to win 4 games in a row. Now, multiple teams have done that over the past 4 or 5 years, 6 years. Heat Dynasty, so it's definitely possible. But again, 4 games in a row against the best teams in the world. It's a big ask. So that's going to do it here for this set. Stick with us though. 2024 Mid-Atlantic Major, 3rd event of the season, going down here center court in Atlantic City. Major League Paintball. Matty Marshall here on Go Sports. Heat and Aftershock, Dynasty, and Ironman coming up next. We'll be back.